Welcome back everyone to Ikemean Gaming. We're going to start a new series. The new DLC for Railway Empire 2 just came out called Steel Dragons. So we're going to get into that. Let's go scenarios. China. Okay, we'll take one of three. So we're going to start in South China. Going to have a capital of Shanghai. Starting year is 1880. All right. We're going to take Hangzhou because that's my favorite person. We'll leave it on automatic. All that's just going to stay the same. And I'm pretty excited to see what this is going to be all about. I didn't really read up on it.
Ni hao, I am Zhang Chanyo, civil engineer. I shall assist you in this business venture. So, you are attempting to establish the railways in China once again. As an engineer, I am very curious about your technology and eager to learn more about it. But be aware that the Qing government does not think highly of railways at all. They are worried they may disrupt the farmlands and military defences. As a result, the first railroads created by the British were almost immediately dismantled. You are very fortunate to be blessed with another chance. Ever since the Treaty of Nanjing, Shanghai has been an important trade hub. Your task will be to construct a railway network connecting Shanghai with the surrounding cities, and to establish a trade route for fine tea and silk with our overseas trade partners. Start by creating passenger routes between Shanghai and the cities in the vicinity to get your economy rolling. You will need the money if you want to impress the government. A journey of 1,000 miles begins with a single step.
So let's just take a quick look at what our tasks say. So this little section is going to be called The Little Trouble in Big China. Right now it is January 1st, 1880. So by November of this year, we have to transport 80 wagons with a single train line connecting Shanghai, Nanjing, and Hangzhou. And then by the next year, February, earn a quarterly profit of 500,000. And then by September of the next year, reach 55,000 citizens in Shanghai. All right. Now, let's look at Shanghai, shall we? So it's at 30,000. So let's see what's different. Grain has a new little picture here. Poultry's in. Rice is still in. Eggs are in. I don't know if that's separate from the poultry or not. We'll have to look into that. Bamboo's in instead of lumber. That makes sense. Sugar's still there. Meat is still there. And this time meat looks like it's chicken. Then way down here, we got manure and rope. Then if we keep going, we got paper, cloth. So cloth looks different. And then packaged tea looks slightly different. Noodles. Confectionery, clothing, just a little bit different. Medicine, porcelain. Then we have silk. Tools are in there again. Liquor is way at the bottom. And firework. Let's see, what's Nanjing have? 20,000 Yangtze. So if we look in here at 20,000, they're only demanding to manure. So Shanghai's a little bit bigger, so it wants rope. We have Yanchen with a nice little bonus here, 450. Grain has a bonus of 500. Can't get over there, and we can't get down there. And then here at this farm, we're doing a bit of everything here. Wow. Now, wouldn't this be a good place to buy? 985. Nope. So I guess they make eggs, poultry, and what was that last one? Manure. Well, that makes sense all together. So Shanghai can't get the Hangzhou. So maybe we could throw a line down here, an express line to start there. The Shanghai, what does it need that it's missing to grow? It needs bamboo, which is not on the south side of this river. It needs sugar, which also is on the south side, and it needs meat. It is getting the manure. It needs ropes as well. So if we look over to the north here, where is our bamboo? Okay, bamboo is way over here. Sugar is here. That's fairly close, but we have this stupid bridge to get across. I think we'll do this express line first, and then we'll come back and maybe try to hook up this and this on a cargo line. All right, so we have our line laid up from Shanghai to Hangzhou. It's just a single line at the moment, but I think that'll be enough to get this going. I'm going to pick at the Glen. So they did bring a few like old style trains over into China. There is some new ones though that we'll get into later. So we put our 2 wagons on. We'll click confirm. That's fine. And one thing I did forget though was putting down a supply tower. We're going to need that. One thing I'd forgotten to do, and something you should do all the time, is go into the personnel. We're going to start with the engineer. We're going to bump their training up, trying to get this to 125% efficiency. And we should do it for all of these things. Train personnel. Now, because I picked Helen Gerard, I can do this strictly with just training. So security gives me an increase of freight and mail revenue by 10%. Train personnel gives me popularity of trains, so the ticket price goes up by 10%. Stoker gives me a maximum speed increase of 12%. And the engineer reduces maintenance requirements by 25%. So that's like a no-brainer. The other thing we'll do is go into our research. Where do we stand? What's available? So this one is bridge. Okay, that could be useful before we do bridges. This one one, charge of well-being. This one, construction of buildings. This one is auction prices go down. Personnel price goes down with that one. Amount of packages in all cities goes up by 5. Now that sounds like the best one so far. Cost of well-being down by 5. Increase reliability by 5%. Now that could be pretty useful. Saboteurs, no. And in-service training. Okay, yeah. So we just bumped up our training costs. So let's take this one, Industrial Congress. So that'll reduce our in-service training costs by 5%, which is good. And then I believe there was another one right here, package counter. This will increase all packages in our cities by 5%. So both of them should affect our bottom line pretty quickly. Now we did have an express line here, but I was just sort of paused and rethought this. The first task wants 80 wagons on one single train line, so really that means I shouldn't split express and freight at first anyways, between Shanghai, Nanjing, and Hangzhou. So I got Hangzhou, Shanghai, Nanjing right there. So really the obvious play here, I think, is to double up this line in Hangzhou, create a line in Nanjing, double it up, and have an automatic train going through here, bringing freight, people, and mail. And so we'll convert this express train to do that and probably add on another 1 or 2 more to try to hit this 80 cars as fast as we can. All right, so we have everything we explained laid out now. So we're going to go Nanjing to Shanghai, down to Hangzhou, back to Shanghai, and back again. And we're going to leave it on automatic. We're going to leave these wagons there. We're going to bump the Glen down to a rocket of China because we need to do automatic, right? One single rail line. Then as soon as we hit that, we'll probably split it to express and then freight. So go ahead and confirm that with 3 trains on there. Now we need a quarterly profit 500,000. The other thing we could do, Yangcheng up here. So what we could do is put an express line in here, probably express anyways. We'll call it express. We can always come back and change the name of it later. So it'll need a post office and it'll need a restaurant because we have our maintenance down in Shanghai. So then we could go in and put Yangcheng to Shanghai, and I think we'll go with the rocket to China. We'll leave it on automatic. We'll put our wagons down there, and then I'd say we should do this. We cut across country, do it that way. Then we can go Yangcheng down to Nanjing. So there, we'll go with the rocket of China. Oops, sorry, we'll leave it on automatic. So now we have 3 trains doing this corridor here, and 1 train doing this one, and 1 train doing this one. Now we can't get at any other cities, so we will get the bonus for here, and we're going to want to get the bonus for the grain. Now, who needs grain first? Nanjing, demand per week. They're actually not, which is really funny because it's quite close to them. So we'll put our train in Nanjing first, actually, and then it'll come out to, and we won't go rocket to China. We'll go Prussian because it's just strictly a freight train. Let's go. Yeah, we'll bring grain in. They got paper, but I don't think the paper part's super important. Now, who else needs it? Do these guys need grain? Yes, they do. Yangcheng needs grain. So what we could do here is bring this way. Okay, so we can bring it in and then back out. Now what we could use is something right here actually. Now we're going to want to go into number 2. If we go here, there. Sometimes they never did fix this really. The tracking of the tracks just, it does some funny things at times. Okay, there we go. So we're coming in number 2. So we'll go back in, we'll look for a train, and we want to specify that this first train will go on track number 1. So then we'll go the second train. He'll come off track number 2 all the time. And we're going to go over to Yangcheng Express and put a Prussian freight, boom. Now also Shanghai, I can only guess, is not getting grain. No, they're not. So let's do the same thing. Go back in here and we're starting to run a little low on money. So we could have an issue here. We bring that in straight there. Now we're going to want to come out right here would be fine. I think there we go. So then we'll put our train down from Zhuan, running off track 3 to Shanghai. We're going to want a Prussian on that freight. We had just enough money to do that. So now we're going to want to go and take out a bond. I had to think for a second how to do that. So we could take this one, 663, but it has a really high interest rate. Let's take this 5.1% instead, and let's take another 5.1%. There we go. Now we got some money to play with. So now we want to look at how to get 55,000 citizens in Shanghai. I think if we work on that, I think we'll push this 500 kind of automatically. So Shanghai, if I click in here, It's now going to get grain as soon as I let this run a bit. It's already getting rice, already getting eggs because they're coming from right here. Manure also would be coming from there. So they need bamboo, sugar, and meat. And they do need rope as well. So we got sugar right here. I say we buy that. And maybe I shoot myself in the foot by buying things. I don't really know. Let's put this here. All right, let's go back to what we had here. So we're going to go Yu rest to Shanghai, running full. So it's going to come out, down, run full, back to Yu rest, go to Yancheng, and Yancheng needs to be able to get back in somehow. So it's going to need something like this without the tunnel because tunnel's too expensive. Right. So how's that going to work now? 19 days. Okay. I see that working. So you rest down Shanghai, back up to you rest, Yancheng, 19 days. Let's leave that there. You rest going to come off number 3. It's going to run full. Nanjing Express. So it's going to run full this way, come back out to load up again. We'll put a Prussian, boom. So that gives all our 3 cities grain and sugar as soon as we start running it. We're down to 137,000. So we're going to have to just look at Shanghai now. So it's going to have grain, rice, eggs, it will have bamboo, it will have sugar, so that's going to help. So meat and rope are the 2 things it needs. Rope itself, if we look at our factories, rope factory comes from hemp and makes rope. So there might be a rope factory somewhere. Shanghai's making noodles. Yancheng's making confectionery. Nanjing is making paper. So there's nobody making rope at the moment. There is hemp way over here. So let's go ahead and put an immigration center down here. That will help it grow more. And I think that's about all we can do at the moment. We just got to let this thing run and see where it goes. So I just realized I hadn't added bamboo. So we definitely should do that. We'll go ahead and buy it here for 100,000. Because we did get one of our bonuses, the Yangcheng one. And honestly, we should probably buy this grain before it gets way too expensive. So we'll buy that. So the first thing we'll want to do is go gang stop to Shanghai because Shanghai is the one we really want to grow. So run it full. It's on track 1. Put a Prussian down, and there we go. We got that taken care of. Okay, we have our second train laid out. And because it's a little bit closer, we're going to go Nanjing full, come back to gang stop on line number 2, and go back to Yangcheng full. And it should be able to do that turnaround in 35 days. So we're going to put this on freight, put a Prussian on it. We're going to leave that, and I'm sure we're going to forget about that. That's going to come back and bite us in the butt. I can almost guarantee it will. Now, Hangzhou, we had sort of forgotten about Hangzhou. They need everything, really. So grain they need for sure. Okay, they're getting sugar. Oh, sugar was down there. Okay, so they need grain. They need bamboo. Let's try something for a second. What if we went this to Hangzhou, running full? That would give me 24 days. And then if I want to gang stop and ran full again back to Hangzhou, that will do it in 55 days, which will be just enough to get it under a week. Let's go ahead and do that and let it work on it. Okay, so now we have our line laid out. Come from Hangzhou all the way to Xi'an station, and it's going to bring in eggs, maybe manure. It's going to come out the other way like a hook down in. We'll run it full, put on track 1, Prussian. Now, if you watch my videos any amount of time, you'll know I like buying things. So we're going to buy this hemp plantation. Maybe it's a bad call. I don't know, man, because it's going to start losing money here at first. But I was thinking eventually we'll need it to make rope somewhere. So our noodle factory is up and running. Shanghai is at a growth rate of 72.6. So it's missing meat and it's missing rope. There's not really much we can do about that. No one has a meat factory so far. Yangcheng is not quite even at 50% growth. So really a second train bringing in stuff for them would be good. As remember, we were sharing a train between Nanjing and them. Now Nanjing, because they had the first stop of the train, they're at 68%. Their paper mill is working fine. In fact, what does paper use? Bamboo, okay. And for Yangcheng, what does it need to make confectionery? It needs sugar and rice, which I believe it's getting both. So it's fine that way. So we have our train line lined out from our rice all the way down to Hangzhou, and we're just waiting for the money to do that. As we speak, we're also getting very close to our first task being finished.
Fascinating. Connecting your city stations in a triangular pattern makes it so anyone can travel between any of them quickly. A good strategy.
Okay, so that's our 80 wagons with the single train line connecting Shanghai, Nanjing, and Hangzhou. I think we'll just leave that be for now.
I can see your business is growing fast. Good. With these numbers, you may be able to expand your rail network to other provinces.
Right, so that gives us our profit of 500,000. We actually did, I think, 1.2 2 million. Still at 35,000 people in Shanghai, so that's going to take a little bit. We're just setting up another line here to bring eggs into Yangcheng. So I noticed it wasn't getting eggs anymore. So you got to kind of keep an eye on your cities, right? Sometimes that'll happen. So we'll bring this in number 2. We'll go full. We'll leave it wide open just in case. We'll go Prussia and freight, and we definitely want to tell city, otherwise it's going to go nowhere. So that'll give us 20 days. I just got to wait till we have enough money. I don't like this going through Shanghai, not through the station, but through the city. I would change this eventually once I build a bridge here, but the bridge is quite expensive. So lay that down. So where do we stand on our trains? Our kind of triangle train here, we're making quite a bit. Oh, paper for Shanghai starting to ship out. That's good. So that means Shanghai must be getting more stuff. Oh, it also now needs eggs. So that's something we can work on. See, there's a paper. Now the idea is to grow Shanghai, and I noticed they stopped getting their eggs. So we now have a train coming in on line 3, coming into Shanghai, Prussian running full. We'll just quick into Shanghai, and maybe it wasn't even getting the manure anymore. Yeah, it wasn't. So manure and eggs should come in nicely off that now. We still need a roe factory, but we haven't hit 40,000 yet, and we still need meat. So a meat factory actually would probably make the most sense because of rate by the poultry. So I think that's what we'll do in Shanghai. Yangcheng's at 19, dropped a little bit. Nanjing's at 23, Hangzhou's at 19. So Nanjing probably would be the best place to put a roe factory because it's like right on top of there. And we have some research available. I think we'll take Schmidt steam superheater, which will increase the maximum speed of all our locomotives up to including the Rocket of China by 5%. I believe that's what we were using for our mixed trains was Rocket in China. And then we can take another loan out. Let's go with this one here, the 4.8%. We have an industry slot available in Shanghai. We're going to go with the meat industry. Put that down right here. We can pause that for a second. So now we're going to need even more poultry coming in. Now the other thing we could do is go into this grain and upgrade it because as you can see it's 0 of 18 and has been for some time, and that's hurting growth a little bit. So now once you start producing meat in Shanghai, it'll help Shanghai, and it also will ship to Yangcheng, Nanjing, and Hangzhou once it makes enough for itself that it can ship extra out. Now I looked at the meat demand. Yangcheng, Nanjing, and Hangzhou are all asking for 0.5 meat a week. See, we're only making 1.6 a week, so that's fine if it was just them, but Shanghai itself is asking for 0.9, so that means it's 1.5, 2.4, and right now, as I said, we're only making 1.6. Now if we upgrade this to 3.2, that would allow us to have a little bit extra beyond what these 4 cities need, which I think would be a good thing. Now, as I said, you have to keep watching your cities. So Nanjing suddenly isn't getting rice anymore, so we put a line coming down to the bottom, going one way, coming back to here. So that'll take 10.7 days. We're going to put a Prussian down on that, and we have some research available. We're going to take this closed containers for 100, and it's going to increase the amount of packages in all cities by an additional 5%. And then we might take this one next, this training one. So just a quick update here. We're at 47,000, a little bit under 50. Yancheng's at 27.9 with double growth. Nanjing's at 28.9 with double growth. And then down in Hangzhou, we have 27 double growth. And I also put 2 extra stations here because I see we have a competitor here. I don't want to give them a chance to break into my territory. And now I noticed that Shanghai didn't have any rice coming in all of a sudden. So we're going to bring in a full load of that into Shanghai because really, preferably, we want them on double growth. So once that rice comes in, that'll help. Nanjing has just hit over 30,000, so we're going to drop down an immigration office. Not sure if Yancheng, no, it's not quite there yet. Once it does, though, we could put one down there too. Now we'll help them both grow. Shanghai's already had one for quite some time. There we go. An immigration office down Yancheng. Let's stick it right here. Yeah, we did have time to put an immigration office down in Hangzhou, and also we have more research. We're going to take in-service training to reduce the cost of that another 5%.
The railways have helped this region's economy grow. The Qing government noticed that as well. If they didn't, your rail lines would already have been dismantled. Good job so far. The passenger traffic benefits your company and the government alike, but more has to be done if you are to gain their favor. Patience leads to completeness. Rushing leads to failure. I have arranged for you to purchase a concession for another region. This region is economically strong, agriculturally diverse, and also very famous for its tea. Secure secure the rural tea businesses and create a manufacture for packaged tea. Then build a freight route to Shanghai for the tea to be exported to the West. Before that, though, you might want to consider getting in on the rope business. It might sound inconsequential, but hemp ropes are very important for the harbors and trade ships. See if you can get some produced and transport them to Shanghai.
All right, so what have we accomplished there? We did our last task, which was to grow Shanghai to 55,000. So Yangchang right now is at 33, Nanjing's at 34.5, and Hangzhou's at 31, just under 32. So we did pretty good there, I'd say. We have a pretty good layout going. Everyone's single or double growth. We got Hangzhou blocked completely from our competitor in the south here, which looks like an address. And we do have a competitor over here. Have to put one more station in to block him, and it looks like that's where they want us to go next. If you like this video, like, comment, subscribe, come back and watch another great video of Viking Meat Gaming.